Are you living with some resentment with your partner right now? Because if so, she wants to know, like, when do I just give this guy the boot? If you have any drama going on in your life and you got some questions, maybe there's somebody listening to The Bert Show that can help you out. Hit us up at thebertshow.com. So I'm going to paraphrase some of these details because it's somebody I know. But they have been a couple for about 7 years, right? I'm not exactly sure when he moved in, but it's been a long time. Like, I would say after a year of dating, they moved in together, right? Well, dude lost his job. He's in real estate sales, right? Commercial real estate, I should say. And he lost his job well before the pandemic. And I do think, like, commercial real estate is one of those industries that's really going to be it's going to really have to pivot after a pandemic. I think people now realize, like, maybe we don't need all this office space.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need to be renting all the cubicles and renting the office space and the building or whatever. And maybe everybody can work at home. So who knows what his future looks like. But this dude lost his job even before the pandemic. So he's been out of work for 3 years now. Again, they've been with each other for 7. 3 years, no jobs. Now, every now and then, he'll pick up like a small commission by helping somebody out. So he's getting a little something, but it's really not a lot at all. She is providing for him, the entire family, and she's super, super stressed out about it. So she's wondering now, like, how long do I stay in this relationship before this is just what I should expect from my partner, that he's just going to be a dude that doesn't work and I'm going to have to be the sole provider for us?
Well, it depends on what weight he's pulling at home.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, generally, I've experienced this, but not exactly, because Bart has had jobs. Like, when I met my husband 15 years ago and we started dating, he had a job. He was doing real estate investment with his brother. And then he moved cities to be with me. And then he started, couldn't find a job. So he literally worked overnights at Lowe's, stocking the shelves. And he did that for a while. And then he started selling windows in North Carolina. Wasn't fulfilling, but he did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up moving here. So he moves here and he doesn't have a job, but then he gets one and he starts becoming a handyman. Until he lost half a digit.
He did lose half a finger.
Yep. And then he started, we bought a fixer-upper, and that was his main job, was to renovate the house. And so he handled all of that stuff. So he's never just been sitting on his ass, not doing anything.
Uh-huh.
He's always had something to do. And now he's a stay-at-home dad. And I dare anybody to say stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dads don't work, because they do.
You told us a while back that he felt a certain way about it. He was pretty
he was
insecure.
So emasculated.
He was.
Yeah.
Did you hold any kind of resentment at all, even though he was helping around the house?
Yeah, I was honest about this. When we were living in Raleigh, there was a brief period because, and there is a lot of pressure when you're the sole breadwinner of the house and you're responsible for not just, feeding yourself, but feeding your significant other. And if you have pets and now you have a baby in the mix, that's, there's not to take away. There's a lot of pressure when that responsibility is on you. But when it was just the two of us, there was a point in time we went through a stretch where there was resentment, and he was so depressed and down on himself and was feeling lesser than. But I saw how hard he was trying, and I saw how it was affecting him. So I knew it wasn't for a lack of effort. So we ended up coming out on the other side of that, and we're better for it.
Clearly. Mo, how long would you stay with somebody that wasn't bringing any money into the relationship?
I think for me, it would be more like of a feeling thing than a time thing, because the time is going to change depending on how long you've been with the person, like how good have they been in your life up until that point, and then, like you said, what they're doing around the house, like Kristen said. So I think if you get to a place in a relationship where you're asking yourself, okay, you're saying to yourself, this is now becoming a problem because this person has been out of work for this long and I'm struggling, whatever time that is, that's the time. Like, that's the time to actually evaluate your situation and figure out why. Yeah. Because there's a reason you feel that way. So I just feel like once you get to that point, it's over.
You ever run into this, Davy?
Yeah. I want to say I'd let it last for 5 minutes and then it's like donezo. But I was in a relationship with someone that just didn't, for like 2 years. Just he would pick up like brunch shifts at this restaurant, make like $30, and then spend that on a handle of vodka or whatever with his friends and play cards in my apartment.
And then he would waste all the other money?
There was no other money. There was no other money. I was like, I could take some rent or something, but you're just drinking away and you're playing cards in my apartment and you don't clean up the mess. It was awful. And I let it go on for over 2 years. But that, like your friend, she says she's like stretched thin, like super stressed. I was like that for a really long time, but I lacked confidence and courage to be just on my own. I'm not saying get a divorce, but your husband needs a kick in the pants for sure.
Yeah, these two aren't even married.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not married.
Oh, look at me. I'm just like, divorce! Like, I'm so excited.
This makes it real easy.
We went around the horn. What about you?
There was some in the beginning of our relationship, me and Tiffany, because Tiffany's working on a new business now. And she's struggling a little bit. And I do feel pressure, for sure. I mean, I'm paying for me, I'm paying for her, I'm paying for Eliza, I'm paying for my kids, So yeah, there's some pressure there. Has there been resentment? No. Because I do see how hard she's working, man. I mean, she's bust her ass. But if there wasn't any of that, then yeah, I would definitely feel it.
Then that right there, that's the tipping point. So Dobby didn't see any of that. She just saw somebody drinking handles of vodka and playing cards in the apartment.
Yeah.
So you can look at your partner and see if there is actual drive and ambition and they're trying. If there's not, then you need to have a sit down and a heart to heart.
Yep.
The Bert Show.